What is up, Bomber fans? It's your boy Nick with the second video of the day. Made another video about fantasy football, so if you haven't checked that out, please hit and watch that other video in my channel. So that'd be much appreciated. We are talking today about the game tomorrow, Winnipeg Blue Bombers versus the BC Lions in BC, rematch of last week's events. So I just want to talk a little bit about the game because I tried to make a video last week covering or previewing the game last week, but there was an issue with the audio and it didn't work. So I'm going to make one now, sort of talk a little bit about last game and then see what we're going to expect for this next game and give my predictions, etc., etc. So last game was an amazing start to the season for the Bombers. BC obviously started out 1-0. They looked extremely good in their first game, and it was the complete opposite last week. The Bombers came out just flying everywhere, started the game with I think it was a 3-and-out, and then a touchdown. That was to Dembski in the back of the end zone. Obviously losing Brady Oliveira in the first drive. But they were not going to be denied. They put in Peterson, who's the backup Canadian running back, who I'm expecting to see this week starting. And they didn't miss a beat. He went for, I think it was 150 yards. Don't quote me on that. I'm too lazy to check the stats. But had an amazing game for his first CFL start, or I think he was a rookie, so I think his first CFL game. So really, really happy for the guy, and honestly, more than we could have expected, because looking back at it, I would have thought they would have gone American, and if they really had an injury, they would go switch over to Cooley, who was really good in the preseason. Now we're looking towards this next game, and I think they're okay going Canadian as long as we have a serviceable backup. I think we still go Canadian at running back, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to at least dress Cooley. I think that will be the plan. I did hear in practice that they were kind of splitting reps. So start with Peterson. If he gets nicked up or he's tired or whatnot, they can always put in the American running back and maybe switch in a American receiver, or Canadian receiver or Canadian O lineman. Regarding Streveler, I think he played an amazing game. In my video that was previewing the game, I was really just I really thought that the Bombers were going to just run the ball a lot, and I thought that Streveler was probably going to get like 70 or 80 yards rushing, and Brady would do 200 yards rushing or something crazy like that. But it was sort of right, because Peterson had 150 yards rushing, but I don't think they ran the ball that much. They actually threw the ball quite a bit. I thought Dembski had an amazing game. Carrick Wiedefall, who's my prediction for this season to be the the breakout player, because I think he had a good season last year, but he was second fiddle to Ontario Wilson in terms of some of the newer guys. I thought Schoen had a really good game as well, made some impact plays, and he's kind of, I see him sort of more as a possession receiver at this point. I don't know if he necessarily stresses the field as well as he used to, but I think he's kind of a dangerous threat all over the field, and it really made you see why they moved on from Wolitarsky and why they moved on from Lawler, and they didn't really miss a beat at all. Now we're also missing Ontario Wilson, but there's so many targets on that receiving core, and there's plenty of talent to fill in those shoes. I thought the biggest difference between the Bombers and the Lions was the offensive line. The offensive line played an excellent game. I thought there was a couple times where we got stopped in the backfield, or I think Streveler might have got sacked. But aside from that, gave them plenty of time to throw the ball. Streveler made really quick decisions, and aside from a few errant passes, and I think he threw a couple picks, played a great game. And that's really encouraging. Now that we're slotting in Collaros, I think that the sky's the limit for this team. They once again do look like, on offense at least, a Grey Cup contender. Then we switch over to the defensive side of the ball. What can we say? It was just a lights out performance. At least for the first half, they gave the Lions pretty much nothing throughout the first quarter. Second quarter, they had I think it was one good drive at the very end. But how much more can you really ask for, especially against a guy like Curtis Rourke? He's going to get his yards, and he's going to score some points and make some big plays. But honestly, the reason why I think that they're successful against them is because they limit that short and intermediate passing game. They know BC doesn't want to run the ball, and they never have. They want to put the ball in Curtis Rourke's hands, and they want him to throw it 100 times a game. Well, the Bombers' defensive line is clearly better than BC's offensive line, so it's really tough for them to throw those deep passes against the Bombers. BC is excellent at throwing deep balls. We've all seen it. It worked out a couple times, but you're not going to win every time. You're not going to limit them every single time they try and throw it deep, and you're going to knock it down or intercept it. It's not going to happen. So you have to give up somewhere, and I think the Bombers did an excellent job at that. The fact that we went into that fourth quarter, and I think they only had he was. I want to check the stats again, but he had about half the amount of yards that he did than he did the week prior, and it didn't look great. It didn't look great. I think the Bombers have a great game plan to play against Curtis Rourke, and they know how to stop him. I think the one area of concern that I do have, that I would really kind of focus on for this next game, is containing the run. He did gashes a couple times with his feet, so I want to make sure that he's not getting out of the pocket, keep him contained in the pocket, make him throw deep balls, make him make mistakes. And I think that's how we win this game. I'm going to keep this video kind of short and sweet. It's been about 7 minutes already. I know you guys don't want to sit around and listen to me talk for like 4 hours, but I think the Bombers come out this next game with a win. I don't think it's as convincing as last week, but it is, because it is very difficult to beat the same team multiple times in a row. I think the Bombers do have the team to do it, though. I think they obviously coming out with Collaros now, it's going to kind of give us a different look. And I'm just really hopeful for this team going into the future. I think the Bombers, now that they know they can win even without Collaros, it just gives them that much more confidence going forward with their starting quarterback. And I think that this defense is even better than last year, personally. I think that they are just lights out. I really like Tony Jones. He's an excellent piece. The new DBs were excellent. Isaiah, was it Bond? Not James Bond. I can't remember his name. There's a couple new DBs, and I'm going to have to learn these names as we go. I haven't been as invested into the training camp as I was a couple seasons ago or even last year. But all the signs are really encouraging. Their defensive line created havoc. A couple knockdowns for Willie, which is expected. And yeah, I think that all around the team looks really great. We have finally a kick returner that looks to be close to what we had. Yeah, I think this team, sky's the limit right now, 1-0. Everything's looking really good. I'm going to be watching the game on Saturday, probably down at a pub somewhere, and I'm just really hoping to see a repeat performance and really see because we only saw Collaros for one drive, I think it was, in the preseason, and he was incredible. I really hope that he's just going to air it out like that and just let his receivers take over. Let Carrick Weedfall do what he does. Let Dembski do what he does. Even guys like Stearns, he had a couple plays shown. We've got so many talented receivers out there. I think that they can just air it out. Then once they've got the lead, run it down their throats. I want them to get a 20-point lead and then just absolutely take the arrow to the ball and run the clock, just like we always do. Bomber football. And yeah, that's pretty much how I see it. All I know, my takeaways from week 1 is basically the West is so much better than the East. It's not even funny. The only exception is Edmonton. I think Edmonton is a horrible team, and I think that Trey Ford is not a good quarterback. He makes a few incredible plays every game, but he's just not consistent, and he can't make the easy passes. He can't make the easy reads. I think that the Bombers are going to win the West. That's my prediction for the season. That's not going to change. Even if we somehow lose this game, Bombers, I think we have the best roster in the league. Sask and Calgary are going to fight it out for 2, and then it's probably going to be BC at 3. When in the East, I'm predicting that it's going to be a tight battle between Montreal and Toronto, but I think Montreal is slightly better, especially at the quarterback position. I'm not really convinced with Toronto's starter. I do think Davis is a really good player, and they're kind of a little bit more complete team. Ticats and Red Blacks, I don't think they're very good. They're going to be, towards the back end of the league. I think that the Ticats are a bit better than Ottawa, but just seeing how they kind of push Saskatchewan. I really can't wait until the Bombers get to play Sask, because we get so many of these Rider fans, on social media and all over the place, just the most delusional group of people. It's actually sad. They are basically the Maple Leafs, or like the Manchester United. Like they are just those fans, like the Dallas Cowboys fans. Like they just don't know. Like they don't know ball, man. Like the Bombers, we've beaten you so many times in so many years. They think, oh, we lost a few players, and this is now our time. It's gonna take more than that. Like honestly, the fact that we have Mike O'Shea and Kyle Walters back with Collaros, Willie Jefferson, Dembski, do you think it's gonna change just because we lost a few players? I got news for you, bro. The Bombers can replace all those guys. We're the best at finding talent every single year. There's new players that we get that are NFL quality, that get scouted by the NFL, get NFL jobs, because we're the best at scouting. We're the best at finding players. People want to come play here in a full sold-out stadium in an actual city, as opposed to living in a shanty town like Regina in front of a half-empty stadium. That's all I got to say. Go Bombers, 2-0 this week. Leave a comment and leave a like if you like the video, and let me know your predictions as well. Go Bombers, and I hope the Riders lose as well. Goodbye.